what kind of influences or impacts that concept will have to the future. You get it? There is a certain amount of information required to understand whatever is present in the contemporary issue in the form of a news event or a news item. This is the magazine in which the availability of a coral in India was published. And then the species, if at all you are good at remembering scientific names, it would be relatively easy for you. Yes, so we have this here. So flabellate corals under the genus of, as you can see here, please remember, for some people who are not from biological sciences or the life sciences backgrounds, it would be difficult to pronounce or remember some scientific names. So you'll have to practice over a period of time. You'll get used to it. Please remember, this is the only species of corals found in India. You get it? Only one, hence it would be important for you to remember it. You understand that? Yes. As you can see, Truncatoflabellum, please understand this. Truncatoflabellum is the genus. Again, let's not go back into how the Linnaean system of naming of flora and fauna or microorganisms is present. Carolus Linnaeus, binomial nomenclature. Every living organism will have two names to it in the form of scientific name. You get it? Like you have first name and last name, just like that. You get it? The first name is called as what? The name of a larger group called as genus or generic name. Pretty simple. And the second name associated with any living organism is called as specific name. What is specific? Regarding a smaller group relatively, that is called as name of the species. For example, you must have heard about name of human beings, Homo sapiens, sapiens. Homo is the name of a larger group. Sapiens is the name of a smaller group. We specifically belong to that smaller group. Sapiens means wise. So we belong to those animals which are relatively wiser than all other organisms. Well, that's a small group. Please understand this. You get it? That's Linnaean system, otherwise called as binomial nomenclature. Don't worry much about them. This is the name for all your practical purposes. So Truncatoflabellum here, yes. As you can see here. So whenever this issue comes, then you'll have to dwell deeper into what's a coral. Why should we worry about corals? Please remember, it is not just coral we are talking about. It is one of the SDGs, if you remember. Sustainable Development Goals includes life underwater. You get it? Comprehensive preparation includes a multi-dimensional, multi-perspective, interlinking nature of preparation with all subjects. You understand that? It's not about you study one subject in an isolated manner, in a disconnected manner with that of another subject, and you say syllabus is completed, I'm ready for the exam, and you still fail. Why? You studied all subjects, but still you cannot answer a few questions in the exam. Reason is you failed to connect. Please remember, the comprehensive nature of preparation lies in connecting individual subjects. You get it? It's not about learning subjects in an isolated manner. They are not isolated. They are not alien to each other. You get it? Well, getting back here. So the concept of corals is everywhere. You talk about science and technology. You talk about economy. For example, many small island or coastal cities and towns or island nations, their primary source of livelihood or economy would be based on corals. Please understand this. So corals can be questioned under the subject of economy. Corals or questions based on corals can be asked in the science and technology, in environment, in geography, in contemporary issues, of course. So across you can get questions on this. Yes. So what's a coral? Plant, animal, what is it? When you look at it, is difficult to identify, isn't it? This is the microscopic picture of the coral Truncatoflabellum we're talking about, found in India. For that matter, when you look any coral for that matter in a microscopic manner, it would be difficult for you to identify whether it is a plant or an animal. So According to your knowledge, what is a coral, by the way? Plant, animal? Animal. Great. Single animal, multiple animals? You know, R.H. Whitaker's classification of all living organisms on the planet Earth? Yes? 5 kingdom classification, pretty simple it is. You get it? So Monera, Protista we have, and then fungi, and then we have plants and animalia. You get it? So 5 kingdoms. But this is out of the purview of the Whitaker's classification. Number 1 is viruses, which are out of the purview of classification of Whitaker's system of 5 kingdom classification of living organisms. And the second is such organisms which live in close coordination with each other, which are mutually dependent on each other for each other's benefit. In the fundamental concepts of ecology, you must have studied about biotic interactions, both positive and negative. So positive biotic interactions would include number 1, mutualism, otherwise called as symbiosis. Mutually beneficial relationship. 2 organisms start interacting with each other for receiving benefits because of each other. Both get benefited. Such a biotic relationship is called as symbiosis or symbiotic relationship. And this coral is one beautiful example of such symbiotic relationship between 2 organisms. Number 1 is the organism, which is what? There is a problem here. Yes. Number 1 is what? The cnidarian. Yes. The cnidarian. Animal kingdom again is further classified into different phyla. Singular elements are called as phylum. For all those who are not familiar, those are just smaller components of animal kingdom. So you must have studied about protozoa. Let's keep that outside. Yes. And porifera, coelenterata, and then comes cnidaria. Then comes your platyhelminthes, nematohelminthes, annelida, arthropoda, mollusca, echinodermata, chordata, and all those things. Regular stuff. So here, cnidaria is one phylum, within which there is a class called as anthozoa, under which there are certain kind of organisms which are called as polyps. Polyp. These polyps are sedentary in nature. What do you mean by sedentary? They can't move. You get it? And they have cylindrical bodies and tentacled mouths. What is a tentacle? Extension of the one side of the body to grab food particles, whichever come closer to their mouth, and they take them in. And they digest, and waste are released again through the mouth. Waste are released through the mouth. So these cannot move, hence their survival is highly vulnerable. Please understand this. Food has to come closer to the mouth. They can't move towards the food. Hence their survival is vulnerable. Hence they would provide certain kind of features in their bodies which would attract other organisms to come and live, and through which they can earn some food or they can absorb some food. And polyps have the ability to, please remember, this goes a long way in your climate change as well, that polyps have the ability to absorb the carbonates and calcium from surrounding environments and build a hard exoskeleton around them. What is exoskeleton? Exo means outside. Skeleton means supporting structure of the body. Likewise, we have endoskeleton. Endo means inside. Skeleton means supporting structure. For example, your bones is an example of endoskeleton. Your nails, hair, claws in some organisms, feathers, scales in some organisms, which are present outside the body, still support their body, are called as exo. Exo means outside. You get it? So these polyps, which are sedentary, which cannot move and procure food by themselves, they have the ability to absorb calcium and carbonates from surrounding waters and combine calcium and carbonates to form a calcium carbonate rich hard exoskeleton, which provides a suitable surface stable surface for other organisms to come and survive. And these polyps, they in general survive in turbulent waters, in shallow waters, slightly saline waters, and wherever there is sufficient amount of warmth. Please remember, across the globe, warm waters, tropical, subtropical. What is tropical? What is subtropical? Yes, please. So we have Earth. Is this visible? I doubt. Whatever I'm trying to write, is that visible to you? Yes, please. No. Yes. Can't say. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Kind of. Yes. We have equator 0. As usual. And 23 north and south. What do we have? Cancer, Capricorn. Yes. Cancer and Capricorn. 23 north and south. 23 degrees north. 23 degrees south. Cancer, Capricorn. Cancer in the middle of India, dividing India into northern India and southern India. There are two Indias. How many Indias? Who says? Ask Cancer. You get it? Well, that's on a lighter note. You get it? Cancer passes through center of. So half of India is tropical, half of India is subtropical. Well, we'll see that. The areas, latitudes, areas in between Cancer and Capricorn, 23 north, 23 degrees south, are tropical or warmer parts of the world. Relatively, they are warmer relative to other regions. Hence, these regions are called as tropical regions of the world. And whichever country or ocean lies, tropical country, tropical continent, tropical ocean, or tropical sea, or tropical area. And beyond 23, up to 35 degrees, please understand this, north and south. Beyond 23 and up to 35, north and south latitudes, we have some regions which do not fall in extreme categories, and they are called as subtropical. Please remember, beyond Cancer and Capricorn, beyond 23 up to 35 degrees, up to 35 degrees latitudes, regions between 23 and 35, regions between 23 and 35, north and south, they are called as subtropical. Please understand this. And beyond 35 up to 66 degrees north and south, we have temperate regions which are relatively colder. You'll understand this. 35 to 66 degrees north and south. Are you able to comprehend? Yes? Well, a picture would be better. I guess we include the picture. Okay, that should be easy for you. That is visible. I'm sorry, things are not transparent on your planet. You get it? So, Cancer, Capricorn, tropical. Beyond up to 35, subtropical. 35 to 66 degrees latitudes north and south, temperate, colder parts. 66 and beyond, polar. Are you able to understand this? That is how we understand the Earth. Well, it's a perspective, it's imagination, because these are imaginary. Both latitudes and longitudes, you understand this? These are imaginary for our convenience. You get it? So, that is how we have tropical waters, warm waters, and you know their uniqueness. Equatorial. We have a lot of specialities to equatorial regions. Number one, Earth rotates fastest at equator. You know that, right? How fast is fast? Yes, please. Can we say 1600 kilometers per hour is fast? No, we can't say. You understand this? We need a frame of reference. We can't define something in the absence of another thing. Our life is, our world is a product of comparison. We do not have something called as absoluteness. We cannot understand absoluteness. You understand that? We understand relativity. relative. For example, you can't define this unless there is this or this. You understand that? There is no absoluteness in the universe. You can't define yourself if you don't have a mirror or another person on the earth. You understand this? You don't know who you are if others are not present. You get it? So others help you identify yourself. So we need others, hence societies. Yes. So 1600 kilometers per hour is the rotational speed of the earth at equator, 0 degree. To the contrary, poles, you know the speed of the earth? 4 zeros. Those who are not interested in counting zeros. Now you can understand how fast is fast. Did you get it? Now these primarily determine all other atmospheric and weather phenomena on the earth. Did you get it? Including the evapotranspirations. Forget about transpiration here. Evaporation, vapor, winds, wind speeds, directions. Please remember, northern hemisphere counterclockwise. Yes, you heard it correct. Gaspard Gustave de Coriolis, 1835, said this. Do you understand that? Counterclockwise direction in the northern hemisphere, clockwise direction in the southern hemisphere. Please remember, movement of fluids. Air is a fluid. Fluid is a property of matter, not the matter itself. Please understand this. Fluidic is property of the matter. You get it? You'd laugh at it that particles or wind, they don't move. Earth rotates. You get it? Wind is a response to rotation of the earth. Please understand this. So if earth stops rotating, that's over. There is no environment, there is no atmosphere, there is no weather phenomena. You get it? Yes. So why we are saying all these things is, these are basics to understand multiple events which are under the syllabus of environmental studies. Yes. And then please remember, so whatever happens here would be responsible for your temperature, warmth, moisture, and as a result you have something called as biological diversity. So equatorial regions have rich biological diversity relative to the subtropical, temperate or polar regions. The richness of biological diversity decreases when we move polewards. Yes, getting back. We are looking at the corals here. So primarily there is polyps which belong to the phylum Cnidaria. They live in warm waters. So you can find them in tropical, subtropical regions. Shallow, they need some sunlight, warm waters. And they live in moving waters, turbulent waters. That means in stagnant, non-turbulent, plain and steady waters, polyps cannot survive. Please understand. Why? Why polyps survive better in warm waters? Why not in cold waters? Why? I have to give you two disclaimers. Number one, do not overthink. Number two, do not take all these things too personally. You get it? Now let's talk sense. Yes, please. Sunlight. Did we talk about sunlight? We said why in moving waters? Why in warm waters? We did not talk about your friend Mr. Sun. You get it? Did we? No, not yet. Yes, please. Oh, that's a sophisticated answer which nobody would understand, including examiner. Can you simplify? Please remember, we gave the answer already, that These cannot move. They want food to move. In still waters, can the food move? Food doesn't. Please understand. In moving waters, food particles move and come closer to the mouth of polyps. Come on. Now, that's the problem with civil service exam. It tests something which is not present in the books and which is not taught in schools. What's that? What's that? Common sense. Seriously? That's why I said, do not overthink. Overthinking kills your ability to develop common sense. Seriously. I gave the answer already, that they can't move. Food needs to come closer to their mouth. I said this already. That is why I say your preparation is about interlinking. Do you understand that? Getting back. Why warm waters? Why not in cold waters? Well, why? Why warmth? Now, this should help you. Exactly. If you have studied, that is why I said contemporary issues are like apex or tip of the iceberg. The matter or mass lies at the base. The fundamental concepts. Optimum temperatures increase the solubility of gases in the water to the maximum possible extent. What are the gases we're talking about? What is solubility of gases we're talking about? Please understand, oceans are called as blue sinks. Forests are green sinks. Sink of what? Carbon. Okay. Carbon sink. Any idea what is carbon sink? Blue carbon sink. Green carbon sink. What is sink? Whichever absorbs something is a sink. Now here something is absorbing carbon, hence that thing is called as a carbon sink. Why should we talk about carbon sink? Well, the United Nations Environment Program, 1972, June 5th, Nairobi, Kenya. You know what happened? You know, right? 1972, Stockholm Conference. The first ever conference, which is called as United Nations Conference on Human Environment, Stockholm. You get it? And at that point in time, all member countries of United Nations came together and started thinking that there is a necessity of a UN body which exclusively works in the field of environment. And ta-da, then came UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, 1972, June 5th. Do we still remember that June 5 or 5th date? Yes? World Environment Day. So there is something more to updating your WhatsApp statuses on June 5th. Happy World Environment Day. Yes. People are accustomed to your WhatsApp and Insta lives. There is something more too in life than Insta and WhatsApp. Come on. Yes? So here, optimum temperatures, warm temperatures, enhance the solubility of gases. Excessive temperature or too less temperature decrease the solubility of gases in the water. Please understand this. Hence, global warming is detrimental. We'll talk about all those things here. Yes. So here what happens, United Nations Environment Program assumes that there are some kind of gases which are labeled as greenhouse gases. And the one whole and sole culprit is carbon dioxide, innocent carbon dioxide. Yes? Which is primarily responsible for global warming and all associated complications like climate change. So ultimately, there is one-stop solution which is called as panacea. You know what is panacea? One-stop solution to all problems of all people is called as panacea. You understand that? So in some other place, when I asked panacea, they said entire Asia. Wow. Wake up, please. Panacea means one-stop solution to all problems. It's like one-size-fits-all approach. Would that work? No, we are not talking about Dolo 650 here. Do we have a tablet which can treat all diseases of all people on the planet Earth? That should be a joke. I said we are not talking about Dolo 650 here. Get it? It's the wrong notion. Yes, getting back. United Nations Environment Program assumed, and of course now all countries started assuming the same way, that if we reduce the emissions of this and some other gases which are labeled as greenhouse gases, we can avert, minimize, mitigate, manage the climate change. You get it? Hence, the goal is, number one, not to release more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, that is emission reduction. Number two, take out existing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, sink. These two are primary strategies to counter the so-called greenhouse effect and eventualities like global warming and climate change. Please understand this. Number one, reduce less. Number two, take out whatever is present already in the atmosphere. Reducing less, you have alternative energy technologies, which are primarily based on renewables, and you know the technologies. Because this is considered as a primary effluent of fossil fuel thermal dissociation. That is, again the concept goes around fossil fuels. What are fossil fuels here? Primarily gas, coal, oil, all these things. Yes, which again have carbon in their bodies, because these are fossils which are the remnants of past life forms which lived few millions of years ago, approximately 350 million years ago. Carboniferous period. You understand this? Yes. So getting back here, this carbon has got two cycles, nutrient cycles you must have studied in basic concepts. Short-term carbon cycle, long-term carbon cycle. Short-term carbon cycle is what? Yes. What is short-term carbon cycle? Photosynthesis, respiration. That's over. Are you able to understand this? Now the joke is, some creatures start their civil service exam preparation with contemporary developments. Wow, what an idea. It is like building a structure from top to bottom. There is an exception, Ellora. Not here. How do you build a structure? From bottom to top. Any questions? Stop staring at me. You're threatening me. Relax. You can be normal. Just try it. I was also normal when I came to Hyderabad a decade ago. Trust me, I was more normal than you. You can also be. Just try it. Getting back. Carbon follows two cycles. Number one is short term, photosynthesis, respiration. Photosynthesis is incorporating atmospheric carbon into tissues. Respiration is releasing carbon dioxide out or back into the atmosphere, completing the cycle. You understand this? There is a question on this as well. Can we have a play? Okay, that's great. Yes. So we have a pretty simple component here. Yes. So we have certain kind of components. What do you understand by this here? Okay, what's the problem here? Yes. What is this reaction we're talking about? It's pretty simple. What is that? LKG. Yes. Just reversal of this, not a big deal. What is it we are talking about? Yes, please. What is this reaction? Seriously? Yeah, UKG. LKG, UKG. That's over. Now, preliminary question goes like this. Which of the following reactions occurs at a faster pace and why? Fast. Which among these two reactions occurs at a faster pace and why? Choose the correct Optional, kind of. What's the answer? Okay. Now, we all come from different schools, schools of thought. You get it? So, this is the synthesis, because something is getting synthesized here. Something is getting manufactured in the presence of photo. What is photo? Light. Now, here there is something called as what? Yes. To be specific, it is aerobic. And to be specific, it is intracellular. What is the site of this chemical reaction? We know that. What is that? Site. You're trying to look for the answer here? Look. Where do you think respiration occurs? Do you think respiration occurs in our bodies? No. Is this the correct class? Or did I enter a wrong class? I'm sorry, this is the first class. Where do you think this occurs? Nose? Mouth? Throat? Lungs? Stomach? Heart? You gave it to somebody a few months ago. That heart? Yes, please. We can't learn fundamentals without fun. Because fundamentals start with fun. Try to spell it. Yes? This occurs in mitochondria. In each and every cell of the body. Now, preliminary question and mains question can be asked on mitochondria. Please understand this. What is that? 3-parent baby. Mitochondria is the reason. Do you understand this? Did you all just start your preparation now? This morning? Yesterday? Okay, yesterday evening. Did you study all those NCERT's basics? School? Did you go to school? No, too many no's, enough. Something. Did you all go to school? Great. And that's enough. That's over. Yes? Definitely mitochondria. Powerhouse of the cell. Did you study this in school? That's enough. Your preparation already started long time ago. You can't bluff. You get it? This occurs in which part of your body? Not in your body. Are you sure? Man, come on. What kind of people? You need some treatment. Hence, you are eating plants. Yes. In childhood, when we used to eat seeds, elderly people used to say, hey, don't eat seeds. Plants will grow in your body. Get it? Getting back here, photosynthesis, respiration. Which among these two reactions occur at a faster pace and why? Please remember, these are called as catalysts. What's a catalyst? Again, preliminary question we're talking about. What is a catalyst? Whichever increases the speed of the reaction without participating in the reaction is school definition. Okay. Anything else? Because this answer was not present in ABCDs. That's over. That's when you start thinking, oh, is it? Kind of. That whichever decreases the activation energy required between substrates is a catalyst. This was the option present in the answer options of UPSC. Yes? You get it? That physical, chemical, biological or any factor like heat, light, whatever it is. Whichever decreases activation energy required by the substrates for the reaction to occur and for the products to form is a catalyst. Here, light is a catalyst. You get it? And then you have photosynthesis. And another question was there here. Which among these two is a source of oxygen in this reaction? Because oxygen is present in both. The first stage in photosynthesis is what? What is this? Please understand this. You get it? So we have this. First reaction in photosynthesis, photolysis of water. So source of oxygen is water and not carbon dioxide. Source of oxygen is water and not carbon dioxide. Well, yes. Now people started discussing, hey, there is oxygen in this. There is oxygen in this. What is the source of oxygen here? Now you should go back to school again. This time go to a better school. Yes? Which among these two? Catalyst here is biocatalyst. What are biocatalysts? Enzymes. All enzymes are protein in nature. Not all proteins are enzymes. All enzymes are protein in nature. Enzymes mediate this chemical transformation, breakdown, catalysis, catabolism. Now, again same question. Which among these two reactions occurs at a faster pace and why? Who would run faster? Whoever has got fire in the butt. Come on, we're talking about rocket. Yes or no? Who would wake up in the morning? Whoever has got some work to do. Otherwise, every day is Sunday. Yes? Please understand this. Whoever has got a deadline, a timetable, a schedule, a task, they would do that task faster. That reaction would occur at a faster pace. That whichever is dependent on limited sources would occur at a faster pace. I'll go back to the question. Which among these two reactions occurs at a faster pace and why? Photosynthesis? Respiration? Why photosynthesis? Yes, that's over. Why respiration? Yes? Okay, you said. Anybody who said respiration, can you justify your answer? Silence is not an answer. Please remember that light reaction, though there is something called as dark reaction, maximum amount of photosynthesis occurs during availability of light. And availability of light is for a limited period. Limited period offer, hurry. Do you understand that? Just remember this. Limited period offer, hurry. Hence, this reaction needs to occur at a faster pace because the catalyst available is only for a shorter duration. These are 24/7 available within the body. Are you able to understand this? That is the answer. All these things are present in school books. And during childhood, we hated our school. Hence, you are reading all those NCERTs again now. Did you get it? That's the reason. Getting back here. So, these reactions in general, especially this reaction, absorbs carbon dioxide. That means eliminates carbon dioxide from atmosphere. That whichever eliminates carbon dioxide from atmosphere is called as a carbon sink. So, which organisms perform this action, this reaction? Plants. Hence, plants are called as carbon sinks because 85% of the pigment present in plants is chlorophyll, which reflects green color of the visible spectrum. Color of the object is color reflected by the object. Please understand this. Among all Vibgyor colors, color of objects is color rejected, reflected by the object upon incidence of light. You get it? If an object reflects all colors, what would be the color of the object? Well, you need to study a concept called as albedo. Albus. Alba means white. Alba or albus means whiteness, fairness, whiteness. Albedo talks about property of objects to reflect some or all energy absorbed from incident light. If an object reflects all colors, all energy absorbed by the incident light, that object looks brightest, whitest. You get it? Coolest. You understand that? Why coolest? All energy is reflected back. and the object is not absorbing any energy. If you don't absorb energy from light, you remain cool. Snow doesn't melt because of sunlight. Please understand this. Why snow doesn't melt because of sunlight? Because snow reflects all the energy from light. Hence, snow is white. Snow is cool. Do you understand this? And you're not supposed to see snow under intense sunlight with naked eyes. Why? All energy which is reflected by the snow will contain UV as well. If they reach your retina, they would destroy your sense, or you can say that lot of the sensory nerve endings are present on your retina. They would destroy it. You will go blind, which is called as snow blindness. Civil services preliminary question. Snow blindness. If an object doesn't reflect any energy, appears black. You get it? And a black object is warmer, darker. Why warmer? Because that object is absorbing all the energy from light. And please remember, light energy is converted into heat energy by the objects. If you want to test it, keep some object under sunlight and take it back and measure the surface temperature. It will be warmer. So light energy is getting converted into heat energy here. Albedo and energy are linked in that way. So is black a color? Don't look at my shirt. Is black a color or reflection of any color? Absence of reflection of any color. Is white a color? Not a single color. Okay, there is a question. What should be, welcome to India, what should be the color of, or what should not be the color of umbrella in summers in India? What should not be the color of umbrella? And people carry only black colored umbrella in summers. Yes or no? Welcome to India, that's why I said. India is a surprise in single piece. Nowhere life happens in the way it happens in India. So technically, what should be the color of umbrella in summers? Have you ever seen a person carrying a white umbrella in summers in India? 95% of people carry black umbrella. That is why we should send all adults to school first, not innocent children. Yes, getting back here. Okay, many questions, preliminary questions were covered in all these things. You get it? Yes. So because in climate change also there is something called as a black carbon, which is responsible for global warming. So black, why black? How can black objects be responsible for global warming? You know this. Now you know, because you just discussed about albedo. Did you get it? Yes. So, and there is another thing. What is that here? Sunlight doesn't melt snow. Then why there is a glacial retreat, melting of glaciers, and ultimately rise of mean sea level? If sunlight is not melting glaciers, then what is melting them? Warming. Warmth is melting them, not light. You'll understand this. You should understand this difference. Yes. So, any amount of light cannot melt snow. Please understand this. Any amount of light, sunlight, it cannot melt snow. But heat and other conditions, yes. Okay, getting back here. So corals live in moving waters, warmer waters, and there is another element called as salt, saline waters. Are you able to understand this? Okay, why saline? Why not fresh? There is some amount of evidence that even fresh waters also have some type of corals. But in general, corals are abundantly seen in ocean waters. You get it? Number one, availability of food is greater. That is non-debatable because ocean is a large water body, hence food is more. Number two, the salinity in general is more suitable for availability of calcium and carbonates. How can this be possible? Please understand that we have primarily in the atmosphere carbon dioxide,